Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received. Please also, you can go and listen to another episode on Trenza that I have posted. The message, it reads like this. Hello, how are you? Can you please post my own story as anonymous? I am a South African man who is aged 33 years old. So this is my second year ever since I did Ugutwala rituals. And it was all because of this other boy that was from Zim that used to be my boy. He used to stay right next door in our location. That was where he used to rent. Me and that boy, we started off by hating each other because he had been sleeping with this other girl that I used to date like back in those days, and he was using money to date that girl even though he did not have money, but he was just working by the farms. The little that he was getting, the little he was giving to that girl, and she was sleeping with him, and I felt like the girl was too beautiful for him and they did not deserve each other. So that is how it all started. But later on we became good friends because he was into music and I was also into music. I had this other vision, a dream of finally getting out of our location and staying in the suburbs. It then happened so fast that the boy just moved out of the location. We did not know where he had gone to. We just thought that maybe he had gone to the other part of South Africa, or maybe he had returned back to his country. Little did I know that the boy had made so much money. He was now a millionaire. I then met him by chance in town, and he was moving with this other beautiful woman. We met by the mall, and I was like, "Hi, dude, what's up?" He then told me that he was still around and he was married to the woman that he was with, and I was, "Yo, this woman, you got married to this woman." That girl was beautiful. There is no South African woman that will get married to a broke foreigner. That one I knew very well. And from the look of things, the boy had made it in life. He then said that there was something that he wanted to pick in Pick and Pay, and if I was okay with it, then I could accompany him to Pick and Pay. And I said, "Yeah, for sure, man." We then went to Pick and Pay, and when he said that there was an item that he wanted to pick, I did not know that he was going to pick that single item using two trolleys. He grabbed one trolley and he said, "Grab another trolley." And then we started moving. You know, when people have money, they do not even look at a budget. They do not carry those little piece of papers that broke people carry around. Like you carry a little piece of paper as you are moving around and you are busy ticking. Rich people, they just go into the shop and they just buy. They were just grabbing everything, and they filled up 2 trolleys, and then we went to the till. Boy, oh boy, when I looked at what the till was saying, it was close to 4,500 that they were going to blow just buying some regular stuff. And then I asked them what were they going to do with all the stuff, and he told me that this was like their weekly shopping. So they do weekly shopping, but after 2 weeks. And I was like, wow, these guys, they have been making so much money. We then went to the car. He was driving a Porsche, and that was when he gave me some money and he gave me his phone numbers, and he was like, "Dude, we'll talk later on," because he was saying that he wanted us to go to a music studio together. He had given me some money. On my way home, I then bought my 6-pack of Black Label, and I was happy. And when I arrived home, I told my parents about the guy, how much he had made so much money. We kept on talking together, me and this guy. Then, unfortunately, lockdown came and I lost communication with my boy. Soon after lockdown, that was when he called me. He was a little bit depressed at that time, and I said, "Oh boy, what's up?" And he told me that the wife had passed away and he was just looking for another girl to date so that he can get over the loneliness. And I said, "Okay, it's fine." I then spoke with my cousin. I did not even know that the boy was now a ritualist. So I spoke with my cousin and I was like, "Listen, Ian, there is this other boy of mine that I new and he's now rich. He's looking for someone that he can spend some time with, and I think that you are the perfect one, and at least you'll be able to get something. She was very excited, and I knew that she had not been dating for a very long time because of something that had happened in a previous relationship. I then told her that it was okay. This guy was going to take good care of her, and she was like, okay, thanks, it's fine. They then started to talk together. When they were talking to each other, the next thing that happened, my cousin was now staying with this boy of mine. It took about 2 months. Then my cousin, she fell pregnant, and when she was about 6 months pregnant, that was when she had a miscarriage, the first miscarriage. And soon after the miscarriage, 2 months later, she was pregnant again, and then she had a miscarriage. But this miscarriage, it happened when she was alone. The boy had gone to Dubai because he has business dealings in Dubai, so she was alone. She died, Brother Nashi. She died alone. We really do not know what happened, but they say that she bled to death. She was bleeding too much, and she was unable to call anyone. That really hurt everyone. But I did not blame myself, and I did not even blame the boy, because in our family, there is witchcraft. As for my cousin's sister, like, we knew that she was cursed, the way that her life was never moving. Even when she would get a job, there was one auntie of ours whom we knew that she had cursed her because of some things that happened in the family. You know, in the family, there can be some grudges. So her mom and the auntie, they hated each other, and they used to blame each other of witchcraft. So we just said that it is that evil auntie who has done this to our cousin. So life continued, and the boy suggested that I was supposed to find another woman for him. That was when we became really close with the boy. It was like, even if you want, you can come and stay at my house. I had never been to his house, even when my cousin was staying there. I finally went. He picked me up in town. He picked me up at game, and then we went together to his house. Boy, oh boy, the house was so beautiful. It was the biggest house that I had ever seen in my entire life. I then asked him, why would he want to stay in such a big house alone? He then said that this house was like his holy temple, and this is like his slaughterhouse. When he has some chicks, he brings them over. So later on, when we went to bed, I was in the guest bedroom, and he was alone because he had brought over this girl that he had met online. So they were busy doing their thing, and I was just amazed at how much the guy had made so much money, and still I did not know what kind of a business he was into, because I had asked him what kind of a business he was into, but he had failed to give me a proper answer. And I was like, I really do not care. As long as this guy is going to connect me after he'd given me a plug, maybe I'll be able to understand how is he hustling exactly. And then after a couple of days, that was when I saw other men that came. They drove the same cars, they drove BMWs, and they wore the same clothes, but they were from Zim, but they were wearing as if they were Nigerians, you know, those dresses, but they were black. And these guys, they were a little bit scary. All of them, they had walking sticks. They then went upstairs, and then I started hearing them. They were chanting, but they were like praying. So I just thought that maybe they are church people or some weird thing that was happening upstairs. After they had left, my boy was a little bit depressed. I could see that he was just quiet, and the way that he was quiet, there was something that was happening, something that was boiling in his heart. I then asked him why was he quiet like that, and he said that you can never understand, man. I wish you could understand, but you can't understand even if I tell you. And then I brought my story to him because I wanted to go back home, and I told him that I wanted money, and I knew that I had borrowed some money from him, and I still wanted more. And then the guy then said to me, yeah, I know you've been borrowing a lot of money from me lately, and I think that it is time for me to go with you to the river so that you can start fishing your own fish. And I said, okay, that is perfect. That is what I want. I am a man. I do not want to depend on another man like forever. So the boy then said that he was going to take me to this other church. And I was like, church now. What about, you just teaching me the ropes. And he was like, no, you cannot learn the ropes without going to the church first. And I said, okay, it's fine. The next Sunday, we went with the boy to church. When we were at church, then I was told that I was supposed to give my life to Christ. What was really weird, I was not like a hard Christian who knew everything about the Bible, but I had never seen a cross upside down. To tell you the truth, this was like the first time to see a cross standing upside down. I was taken to this other Zimbabwean church. Everyone in the church was wearing black, black. Everyone was wearing black. It was not like a uniform whereby you say that everyone wears the same uniform. People were wearing different clothes, but everyone was wearing black. Some wore black t-shirts, black jeans, black shoes. There were those that were wearing black suits. The women were wearing black dresses, black jeans, some with black tops. Everything was black. So the church, it's not like it's a big church. I can say that the church had about 20 to 20 something people that were there in that small church. And even the design in front, like I did not notice this when I got into the church, but after about 10 minutes, that was when I said, this is a little bit weird. I'm not a church goer, but is church supposed to be like this? Why is it everything is black in this church? The curtains, they had these other heavy curtains that they had, which were black. And in front, the pulpit, it was black. And then I noticed that the cross was upside down. This was when I was brought to the front of the church, because I was then called out my name, and they said that there is someone new that we have today who has come to attend our church today. Is someone that is new, and this is the person. And I was then called to the front of the church. When I was called to the front of the church, then I started to notice that in front there was this other cross. It was a big cross that was at the back of where the drama was, and the cross, it was upside down. Even Jesus Christ was upside down. I was looking and I was like, Jesus, why are you upside down? Are you not supposed to be the other way around? I was like, is it a mistake? Has the cross fallen? But why would they leave Jesus Christ hanging upside down like this? This is really weird, dude. And then they told me that I was supposed to give my life to Christ, but they did not say I have to give my life to Christ. They said that, are you willing to give your life to him? So when they said that, are you willing to give your life, your soul to him? Obviously, I just said yes, because I thought that they meant God. I did not know that they worship another God, the God of money. That is their God. So I said, yes, I am going to give my life to Christ. And they said, no, we said to him. Here in our church, we call him. And they did not want me to say Christ. And I said, yes, I promise that I'm going to give my life to him, as you have mentioned. And they said that, no, when you say that, it means that we are forcing you. Are we forcing you? And I said, no, you are not forcing me. And they said that, repeat after me. And then I started to repeat each and everything that they were telling me. It was a long thing, like it was a contract. When you get in those contracts whereby they want to rob you at the end of the day, they make you to sign a contract that is very long, so much that you won't even read the contract. That is what happened. A contract was brought before me, and the contract was meant to be signed in blood, and they started reading until I grew tired of what the pastor was reading out for me. I even wanted to doze off, because I think that it was about 31 or so pages that they were reading, and I had to agree at each and every step. I was then taken to the pastor's office for the signing of the contract. My friend was there. He was the one that came with a small needle, and then he stabbed me a little bit on my finger, and the blood was then left on the page where I was supposed to sign. And I was told that I was now part of the church. And then I was given a contract. It started off as a small contract. That was when I learned that, there are people that have money that are foreigners. This thing of shouting foreigners, if you have not yet been in close circle of rich foreigners, you will be thinking otherwise. There are foreigners that even control the economy, because the first contract that I was given was a garden services. People that do rituals, they do not want to associate with people that do not do rituals. I learned that. So I was given a small contract to do gardening services around Joburg. I would go to different estates where I would clean some people's houses, the gutters and the roof fixing stuff. And this was my first stepping stone. Even my mom was very happy, and my mom was very grateful. To this very day, my mom, she thanks that church, but she does not know that this church, it is for people that are ritualists, that worship the devil, as I also have started worshiping the devil, but he is the god of money, not like the devil, because there are many devils. So depends with whom you worship. We worship the god of money. I bought my first car, my VW Amarok, and then I bought another car, and then I was assisted by the church to get a loan, and then I bought my first house. And as I am speaking with you right now, I have 3 companies, one construction company still doing garden services, and then I have another electrical company. That when I hope that I'm going to get tenders through that electrical company. Once that happens, then it means that I am good. I will have finally made it in life when I get a tender. So this is my own confession. I joined Satanism without even realizing that I was joining Satanism. I just thought that if I accept him, the person that I thought was Jesus Christ, but he was the god of money. That's why they had the cross hanging upside down in that church. I just thought that once I accept, then it means that I am going to be living comfortably. The love of money is what brought me here. Satanism, like, it is very alive in our country. Most of you do not even realize that Joburg is like a hanging ground for people that do rituals and for Satanists. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our brother. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. Let us try to speak with our brother in the comment section. Can you imagine?